Hi, I'm Larry Lee. I'm a longtime member of the Yukon Fish and Game Association and an advocate of live release fishing. Live release angling is a conservation tool which, if employed correctly, will allow us to maintain our more than adequate fish stocks in the Yukon and have abundant fishing opportunities for the future. Many Yukoners have difficulty thinking about releasing of freshly caught fish, but Yukon fishing regulations require that fish of certain sizes be released, and they need to be released unharmed. So the purpose of this video is to give you the information on how to do that. When practiced properly, up to 90% of the live release fish survive. So that means 1 in 10 does not survive. So use live release angling as a selective management tool so that you can harvest the fish that you want to keep and release the other ones. Larger female fish carry more eggs than the smaller fish and are able to dig deeper into the gravel to plant their eggs. So these are the fish that we ideally want to release and harvest the smaller ones, which in fact are more tasty. Many people want to keep the larger fish, but bear in mind that these are the prime spawners. Modern taxidermy techniques can create replica fish that are identical to the one that you released. Take adequate pictures and measurements and release the fish quickly so that they can go ahead and spawn and keep the populations healthy. Use strong tackle to minimize the length of time fish are played and save them from exhaustion. If you're fishing in deep water, remember how the changes in pressure affect the fish as they're brought to the surface. If you intend to release the fish, try not to fish in deep water. Barbless hooks are much easier to remove from the fish in the cases where fish must be released. If you have barbed hooks in your tackle box, just take a pair of pliers and crimp the barb down. That makes it a barbless hook and easy to remove. Long-nose pliers are handy tools to help remove the hooks from fish. Use artificial lures instead of bait. That reduces the chance for a deep hooking and makes it easier for the fish to be released and more likely to survive. If you insist on using a landing net, use one made out of rubber mesh with a flat bottom, or use a fish landing cradle, which is just dipped under the fish and held up. The fish is kept horizontal, which is a healthy position for the fish, and you can easily remove the hook and then release the fish back into the water. Handle the fish as little as possible. Wet your hand before you handle the fish, or wear a cotton glove. Hold the fish horizontally and do not squeeze the stomach or get your fingers into the gills. Consider cutting your line and leaving the hook in the fish if it's deeply hooked. This will cause less trauma for the fish in the long run. We want to make sure the fish is adequately revived before releasing it. Hold the fish horizontal in the water and move it back and forth in the water so that the water moves across its gills. Try to weigh the fish without handling it. If you must weigh the fish, weigh it in the landing net and then deduct the weight of the net, or use the measurement and conversion chart that's available in the annual fishery regulations. After a while, you'll be able to judge the weight just by looking at the fish. A badly injured or bleeding legal fish is one that you should keep for your daily harvest. Treat the fish gently and with respect. Learn the proper handling techniques and practice live release fishing in moderation. Do not practice live release fishing in schools of spawning fish, and if you're not going to keep a fish, release it right away. Let them go and let them grow. For any questions that you have about Yukon fisheries regulations, contact the Department of Environment or read through the annually produced Fishing's Regulations booklet available free at Department of Environment offices.